Hi, I'm Maya, also known as the Musician Girl 1 on YouTube. I just thought I'd start off by telling you a little bit about my violin story, how I learned, how long I've been learning for. I started playing violin when I was 3, which was now 14 years ago. When I was 2, I went to a concert with my mum. It was just a small local concert of local youth fiddlers. All of them were about the age I am now or younger. And I was absolutely enthralled. I went home and I told my dad that I had to be a fiddler, that I was going to be a fiddler when I grew up. And my parents, of course, thought that I was cute and funny because I was 2 and saying all these things. But I persisted, and they finally did buy me a violin when I was 3. I started off in group lessons. Group lessons are a fantastic way to learn, and I've stayed in group lessons all throughout growing up. Last year when I went to university was the first year that I actually wasn't in violin group lessons. So I highly recommend those. I stuck with them for quite some time, obviously. After a while though, I did move to private lessons. Private lessons are really good for improving your technique, and I did both fiddle private lessons and classical private lessons. So the difference being, people often ask me the difference between a violin and a fiddle. They're the exact same instrument, it's just how you play them. Fiddle is more like folky, Celtic, bluegrass, that kind of thing. Violin or classical lessons is what you would typically think of as classical music. So I took both. I really enjoyed the fiddle side of things. I didn't so much enjoy the classical side of things, but the classical was great for my technique. Classical lessons is kind of like, if there's any dancers out there, it's kind of like ballet. It's the class that you don't necessarily love, but that makes you a better dancer overall. And some people do love it. I started out playing in a few duos and stuff myself when I was getting into my teen years. I did a duo with a friend. We were both fiddlers, and we played a lot of music by a composer named Oliver Schroer. I was also in a group that Oliver Schroer mentored. He was a Canadian fiddler, absolutely amazing mentor and teacher. And I'm currently now playing a lot of gypsy jazz at university with a guitarist that I met there. So that's my fiddle story. I have spent a lot of years in lessons of various kinds, and I've been taught by a lot of really incredible teachers. I grew up in a community that was saturated with fiddle music, which I was really lucky about. So I've had a lot of opportunities, but that's not to say that you can't learn the fiddle if you don't have all these opportunities that I did. A lot of the teachers that I actually had, some of my most amazing teachers, picked up the fiddle in their 30s. And I know there's entire groups of fiddlers on where I live that all began the fiddle in their 60s or 50s, and they all play together. So there's never an age where you can't start playing the fiddle. I just happened to start when I was pretty young. So that's my story. Welcome to my website. I hope you learned something.